This is Math 119, Technology for Teaching and Learning Mathematics, Instrumentation in Technology in Mathematics. So again, I am Mr. Epifanio Tigli Jr. You were all under me last semester with our subject Math 115. Now, this will be our course description. Can I have somebody to read, a volunteer to read the course description, please? Any volunteer? Yes, Queenie. Go on, Queenie.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Course description. This is a three-unit course that focuses on the application, design, production, utilization, and evaluation of information and communications technology, materials for teaching and learning mathematics. This course also deals with the design, development, and utilization of instructional materials to facilitate a hands-on, experiential, and active learning of mathematics to show creative and innovative work. The major requirement for this course is an ICT integrated and project-based learning plan aligned to the K-12 curriculum to demonstrate skills in the use of common mathematical software for teaching and learning mathematical concepts. This will guide students with the use of effective and appropriate approaches, methods, and techniques in teaching mathematics, including technological tools, and also appreciate mathematics as an opportunity for creative work, moments of discovery, and gaining insights of the world. All the learning activities and course requirements will revolve in developing and using materials that will guide students in using mathematical software for discovering and learning mathematical concepts, and also developing lessons that can help students appreciate the use of mathematics in daily life, showing and demonstrating skills in the positive use of ICT to facilitate the teaching and learning process, thus equipping and enhancing them to be more innovative for the enrichment of the teaching and learning process.
Okay, thank you so much. What your classmate just read is an overview of what this subject is all about. So again, we will not discuss the course description because you will be learning these things as we go on with the 5 course materials that I prepared for this class. Now, before continuing, let's have the scope and sequence. These are the different titles of the course materials. Course material number 1 is all about instructional and manipulative materials in mathematics. This is now pure on theories. What's the purpose behind course material, or what's the purpose behind having manipulatives? Course number 2, or course material number 2, is ICT in education in the 21st century classroom. Again, this is more on theories. CM1 and CM2 are more on theories. These are the principles, the theories behind why is ICT important? Why is there a need for manipulative materials in teaching mathematics? CM3, 4, and 5 are the application part. CM3 is using manipulative materials in teaching and learning mathematics, part 1. CM4 will be having part 2. And CM5, using ICT in teaching and learning mathematics. I will be sharing to you a lot of mga softwares, mga applications that we can use in our math class. Okay? Now, I will not be discussing each course material because we will be going over all of these as we go on with our second semester. Next, let's have a review first about your grade components. Online attendance, 10%. Just like last semester, I will not be calling you one by one. The Google attendance checker will be my basis for the attendance. Then we have participation. What do you mean by participation here?
The way they interact sa kwan, sir, discussion.
Sa discussion. Now, it will be very unfair for those students nga dili maka-participate. So, what I will be doing this second semester is this. Probably, na ako'y ihatag nga link ninyo, Google Forms ba na, or quizzes nga link, nya 5 items na inyong tubagan. It's in multiple choice type. Nga kana siyang mga questions na gidiscuss during the virtual discussion. Para tanan na i-score sa participation, at the same time, I will be recording the students who will be giving answers during virtual classes. Just what we're doing right now. Okay? Knowledge building, critical thinking, creating. Where do you find this three?
Master's material, sir.
Sa course material ni Gikan. Okay, sa module ni Gikan ang tulo. 15% for knowledge building, critical thinking 20%, creating 30%. Summative test, what do you mean by summative test? How is this given?
After course material 1, course material 2, sir.
Okay, course material 1 and 2. After that, you'll have the prelim summative test. After 3 and 4, you'll have the midterm summative test. After number 5, you'll be having the final summative test. And how is this given? Nakasuway taani sa prelim. How was this given?
Google Form.
Google Forms. I will be using Google Forms, and then this year, this semester, atong suwayan ang quizzes. Again, I will be using duha, Google Forms and quizzes. Okay? Now, let's have our first sharing part. Can I have somebody to read what is now displayed on your screen? Yes, April.
You can learn something new every day if you listen.
Would you like to share something about it, April? Or are there any volunteers who would like to share something about you can learn something new every day if you listen?
Anong concert, for example, maminaw ka og radio nya may bagong kanta dito nga wala ka kaibon. Makaton ka ato sir nga kanta. Nya, makakaton ka new learning sana ba.
Yeah, that's what I also do when I want to learn something new. Like, maminaw ko sa music, ganahan dyan ako makatunan. I listen to that every day. Maminaw ko ana, cause it's simply through listening, you will learn how to sing that song. Okay? Next picture. Volunteer, please, to read this second picture here. Yes, Angeli.
Learning is not a spectator sport, so let's play.
Oh, how do you understand that, Angeli? What's your idea about that?
So learning, sir, it should include participation. For you cannot learn when you don't cooperate with others. So
Correct.
that's how should be you should interact with your classmates.
I totally agree with Angeli. Take note, you are not spectators. You are not just watching me teaching. You should participate. I need your participation. I need you to interact with me. That's why let's play. Do not just like sit there and do nothing. Because learning is not a spectator sport. So this is not the way I want you to learn. So let's play. I want you to participate. I want you to cooperate. Next picture. This one. Any volunteer, please? About the third picture? This one. Kenisha. Yes, Klein.
Mistakes are proof that you are trying.
Can you expound that, Klein?
Um, dili ko ka agree, sir.
Why? Why?
Like, kuan, sir. There are kanang a lots of theorem ang good, sir. Like,
Yeah.
dili sometimes there are kanang sakto nga butang but kanang di na to siya ma-prove sir ba.
You mean to say ang mga theorems nga wala pa na proven. But
True siya sir but kanang unproven siya sir ba.
it's still but the important thing there is trying, right? So
Yes sir.
what's important there is although you commit mistakes, that's part of it. Committing mistakes is simply part of life. I even commit mistake as a teacher. Pero I tried. That's the important thing. Pero
Yes,
ayos
sir.
nang sige mo kasayop, sige kasayop. Because that's another thing also. You're not learning if you are making mistakes all the time. Because if you keep on repeating the same mistake all over again, you're not learning at all. Right?
From for me sir is the right word is it will make you wiser sir.
It will make you wiser. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Let's have the last picture. Let's have the last picture. Over here. Anybody, please. Yeah, who was that? Who was... Kasi ito ni-raise iyang hand. See? Yes, Maria Cor.
Do what is right, not what is easy. Example, ani sir kay kuan sir. Kana ganing mo commit kag kana manuon ka sir. So easy na siya din. Kana you try yourself to be kana unique or example kanang maski kanang lisod pero mao na sa man sir. So try to study hard for you're not able to kanang commit kanang manoon sir.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I totally agree. Yes, Sherry Rose. Would you like to share something, Sherry?
Answer. For example, ang about sa kan make money gani sir.
Yes.
Like lisod gyud basta limpyo please yet mo makuha gani sir.
Yes. Easy money pero dili siya sakto, that's not right at all. Bahalag lisod pagkuha og kwarto basta you're doing the right thing. That's the point there. So my point of presenting the 4 pictures is this. These are the things that I would like you to do this second semester. I would like you to listen. I would like you to play, meaning cooperate, participate. I would like you to try. Bahalag masayop ta, let's do try. And I want you to do what is right. So these are the things that I want all of you to practice this second semester. Will that be okay?
Yes, sir.
Para lingaw ato ang second semester. Now, let's begin with our first synchronous. I'll be having the first synchronous today, and we will be having CM number 1 for that. So again, kining ato ang CM1 and 2 are more on theories, mga principles nga behind nganong naani siya nga subject. Okay, let's begin first with the content. So the first one is instructional materials in mathematics, and the second one is manipulative materials in mathematics. These are the objectives. These are the learning targets for our CM1. Identify different kinds of instructional materials and manipulative materials in math. Discuss the benefits of instructional materials, and explain the 2 types of manipulatives and its importance rather. Okay. Here are some examples of manipulatives. Are you familiar with these pictures over here? Nakasuway mo og gamit aning mga manipulatives pag high school ninyo?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
The first picture over here, what is this one? This is what you call Are you familiar with algebra tiles? So as we go on with our CM3, makat-on mo aning algebra tiles. Kining algebra tiles class gigamit ni siya ni nako before ko maghatag sa factoring nga lesson mugamit kog algebra tiles. Dili ko muhatag anang concept sa factoring diretsyo. I would like the students to discover on their own using ang mathematics manggod is very abstract. I want my students to see something that they can manipulate para ilang magamit ang factoring ana. And that's the usefulness of algebra tiles. The same thing with this one, the JO board. The puzzles, this one, kini siya gigamit na nako sa akong grade 10 classes. Finding the height of a tree, a building, a pole, by simply wala na sila nag-measure ha, nagsaka nilang kahoy. Wala. They're simply making use of this object. And you will learn how to construct this as we go on with CM number 4. Same thing with these objects over here. So these are some manipulatives. Now, what are instructional materials? They are the content or information conveyed within a course. The lectures, the readings, the textbooks, the multimedia components, and other resources in a course. The best instructional materials are aligned with all other elements in the course. They are aligned with the objectives, aligned with the assessments, and aligned with the activities. They hold the power to either engage or demotivate students. Kining instructional materials nga atong panggamiton sa klase, mao ni isa sa mga factors nga ang estudyante ganahan sa imuhang klase or dili ganahan sa imuhang klase. Let's admit that, right? Naay mga classes na to before nga if ang teacher gani na ay i-present something like very interesting, ganahan kay ka maminaw sa klase. Pero there are instances nga na ay teachers nga very boring kaayo ilahang gipanggamit. Do you agree with me? So, asa man mo nga teacher katong boring or something, a teacher who is presenting something interesting to the students? Interesting para ganahan sila makaton, especially atong subject mathematics. Okay? Next. What are types of instructional materials? The first one is, here you go. Textbooks, pamphlets, handouts, study guides, manuals, mga printed instructional materials na sila. The second type is cassettes, microphone, the podcast, are audio. The next type, the third type, visual. Examples ana, charts, real objects, photographs, transparencies. Next type, audiovisual. Like mga slides, mga tapes, mga films, film strips, television, video, multimedia. And the last one is what you call electronic interactive. Ako, how I wish I have this kind of board. This is what you call a smart board, wherein you just simply use a touch mode for this para mga students will be like, example, click on something, dragging something there, or writing something there. Just like what you see on your screen right now. This is very, very nice when you are having a math class. Kaya nga naman, especially sa graphing nato, especially sa mga solving part, this is very, very useful. So we have here computers, tablets, and graphing calculators. These are all electronic interactive. So these are the types of instructional materials. Now, next is, what are the benefits from the use of instructional materials? Can I have somebody to read this one, please? Any Yes, Ronald. Go on.
Apply concept. Applying the idea that the students learn in school to a real situation is the best outcome their learning could achieve. In studying a different culture, the students can acquire an open mind and apply the skill outside of school that will provide them with a better outlook on life.
What What can you share about what you read? Can you share something
Ano, sir,
about? Yes, go on.
using this instructional materials, sir, is helpful to students that can acquire skills or a knowledge that can use them in a real life situation, sir.
Like for example, what?
Kanang sample, sir, kanang nag-teach ang students ang teacher sa about sa what is the use of mathematics.
Yes.
Then the students sir maka-acquire sila sa knowledge sa teachers, then that knowledge can apply them in the real life situation, sir, like kanang how
Yeah.
to
Yes.
count money, how to find the distance of the distance speed of kilometer sa kanang sakyanan, sir, ba?
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Yes. So we just don't stop with the knowledge there. We need to have an application. So this is one important nga atong hunahunaon. It's not tanang lessons nato butang ang application kay that's too much already. In certain applications, like in certain lessons nato, example sa atong lesson about circles, unsay application ana, lesson about polynomial functions, unsay lesson ana niya, unsay application ana niya in the real life. So we need, as a teacher, we need to look for things like that. Okay, next, any volunteer to read the second benefit? Anyone, please? Increase motivation. Yes, April. April, go on.
Increase motivation. There is no learning when motivation is lacking. The usual step of the teacher talking in front and the students passively listening can make their interest in the lesson plummet. Motivating and keeping them interested by employing learning materials and combining it with the interesting tasks such as weaving a basket using materials from Africa can make the school experience memorable, thus will provide a lifelong learning.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So, would you like to share something about what you read, April?
Kanang kuan siya, sir, kanang ang mga instructional materials like kanang audio visual kay
Yes.
like audio visual kanang maggamit og mga projector diba sir kay maka-increase bitaw og motivation sa some students nga mo engage an nga learning bitaw.
Yes.
Like, mas dali silang makat-on o dali nila mahinumduman ang usa ka butang when kanang ma-motivate sila ba sa pag-learn.
That's totally right. I agree with you. The use of instructional materials, like katong giingon sa inyong classmate nga using mga audiovisual, mga electronic, interactive, and the other types of materials sa instruction will really increase motivation. It will really interest the students to learn the subject. Okay? Let's go to the third benefit. Any volunteer, please? Any volunteer, please? Just read the third benefit. Easiest to learn. Yes, Angeli.
Easiest to learn. By making the content of the system more relevant and engaging, the students will find learning relaxed and simple. Flashy presentations, humor, and games can attract their interest, and this will allow the teacher to tap into the cognitive need of the learner to make sense of the world, making them aware of the practices of other people and their culture through the use of interactive CDs and magazines that contain significant content can be a good start of engaging them to learn more about way of life.
Would you like to share something about it, Angeli?
So like as mentioned, sir, by for example, the teacher will enable it's traditional man sir that student ay kanang teachers ra ang mo facilitate sa learning. So why not make it more interesting by incorporating games to a lesson? Like you're going to group your students into five, then you're going to employ games like kuan ka from students are late students will have their designated numbers, then magbunot-bunot, then kung gisay matimingan sa number kay ang particular student na naasan ang number mo oy mo answer, making it more interesting, challenging, and engaging.
That's totally right. So that's totally right. That's totally right. So take note. You need to have your classes engaging. Yeah. One thing also is it should be relevant. The activities should be relevant. Okay? When I say relevant, namo giusahay nga kana ganing masubraan na taog hunahuna sa ganahan ta nga engaging kaayo nga ang atong activity is irrelevant na kaayo sa atong lesson. Okay? So take note, it should be relevant and it should be engaging as well. Because that's the easiest way to learn. It's to have application na mahikapan na ay magunitan ng students na asalay i-manipulate or probably they will play games. So that's it. Now let's have the next benefit. Can I have Ariel? Ariel, please read. Yes, Ariel.
Ano sir? Promotes critical and creative thinking. Since the use of learning tools promotes active learning, the students can acquire skills to analyze, synthesize, and apply the material. It will help develop their logical reasoning, and creative thinking because the teachers are allowing them to have a more active role in the learning process.
Okay. Would you like to share something about it, Ariel?
Well, sir, probably in the field of learning, sir, and teaching and learning, sir, dapat ang teacher sir, should like engage the or should make the discussion more like challenging sir ba to the students so that the attention of the students like kuha sa teacher ang attention sa students, and then if the students find it like interesting and like they find it like ang skills nila mas ma-enhance more. So sana sa pagi sir nga ang discussion mo create di siya kanang nindot og output sir ba.
Yes, yes.
So dapat like we being a teacher, we also prioritize the like the enhancing of the skills of our like students like that. So that's why sir ato din na siyang look into it, look into sir para gaan na to kanang dili ang discussion there ba.
Yes,
About
yes.
to the learning of our students.
So take note, the use of instructional materials, it will really promote active learning. And it will really promote critical and creative thinking as well. Okay? So just like what your classmate said, give challenging materials to your students. Because in this way, diri man nga pamaagi nga makapadevelop sa ilahang critical o creative thinking. Ayaw anang muhatag kag instructional material or material sa imong mga students like activities nga answer or hatag answer. It's very good nga they will be the one to discover. Okay? Next, the last benefit, fun learning. I totally agree with this. Students often look forward to teachers who can produce engaging content. I remember a teacher when I was elementary nga I look forward to this teacher every day. Nga naman, kay every day she presents something new to us. Like activity laki, another one, dili balik-balik ba. And it was one way of making our learning very fun. Study time is playtime while learning by providing a realistic experience to them in a classroom setting. Learners get an inspiring and joyful experience they can only acquire from school. The usual setup of fun learning is when most of the students are actively participating in an activity. They are collaborating, they are working with each other and giving ideas to form a better outcome, like performing as a group to better demonstrate a cultural dance. And this is one thing that I admire about how I teach, because at the end of the semester, the students will really tell nga, sir, I really had fun with your subject. Like mga junior high school students na ako ba? I teach mathematics 10 and mathematics 8. At the end of the school year, they will really tell na, sir, I had fun with your subject. I learned a lot. It was very enjoyable. Maura jud nay ganahan ako madunggan nila nga nag-enjoy sila sa akong subject. Because at the end of the day, those concepts, kung dili nila ma-practice maayo, they will forget that. But the process of how acquiring those concepts is what matters the most. It's collaborating, it's working with their seatmates or classmates or working with the group. Okay? So that is making learning fun sa mathematics. And I do hope as future teachers, you should make your lessons, math lessons, very fun and engaging as well. Next, what are manipulatives? Are you familiar with manipulatives? Kini common kani siya sa elementary. Less na kaayo sa junior high. I don't know why. Pero mas nindot ni siya nga i-practice ni balik ang manipulative sa junior high. Who can read the definition, please? Any volunteer? Yes, April.
Manipulatives are an object is an object which is designed so that a learner can perceive some mathematical concept by manipulating it. Any concrete objects that allow students to explore an idea in an active, hands-on approach. Manipulatives can be almost anything like blocks, shapes, spinners, or even paper that is cut or folded. The power of using manipulatives is that they let the students connect mathematical ideas and symbols to physical objects, thus promoting better understanding.
Okay. Thank you for that. What have you understood about what you read, April? Just summarize everything. Capsulize it.
Kanang kuan siya sir, kanang mga i-integrate nimo ang mga mathematical concepts into kanang the form of mga physical objects like blocks, no?
Yes, yes. So when you say manipulatives, from the word manipulate, they should hold it. They will be the ones to manipulate it. Sir, what are they gonna do with the blocks? What are we gonna do with the shapes, the spinners? Oh, as we go on with our CM 1 to 5 discussion, you will know where blocks are used, where those tiles are used, the spinners, even a paper can be used as a simple manipulative. Back when I was teaching fractions sa grade 7, you know what? I just make use of simple paper. I tell the students, think that the paper you're holding is 1/4. Example ha, they have a 1 whole sheet of paper. They will think it's 1/4. Then I'll tell them, show me 1 whole. So meaning, the students will now work with each other because they need 4 papers to make a whole. So meaning, ilang i-join ang upat ka papel, kay each paper now, the paper they're holding is 1/4. And I said, show me 1 whole. So they will be combining the 4 papers. That's 1 whole. And I said, think that your paper is 1/8. Show me 1/2. So it's a very good activity nga. They are making use of the paper and they're showing me fractions ana. And it really tells me nga na ay development sa critical and creative thinking. Okay? So that's one way of using manipulatives. Next, what are the top 5 reasons for using a manipulative in the classroom? Number 1, manipulatives can provide a bridge between the concrete and the abstract levels of many mathematical topics. As you can see, I will just make this brief. Math is an abstract subject. Most of the topics in mathematics is very abstract. How do I make that concrete? I will make use of manipulatives. Motong nigawas ang algebra tiles sa factoring. And you will know later nga, bitaw no, instead of presenting the concept right away, I want my students to have a concrete idea of factoring by using algebra tiles. I want my students to have a concrete idea of an area of a perimeter by using the JU board. Okay? So, one reason nga nung mo gamit og manipulative sa klase para ma-concretize ang very abstract idea sa mathematics. Second one, manipulatives can serve as models that support students as they think, remember, communicate, and mathematics being studied. Just like what I've told you a while ago, katong akong gi-example nga paper. The students are thinking that the paper they are holding is 1/2. And I told them, show me 1/2. So out of that model nga 1/2, they will able to conceive a 1/2 by joining 2 1/2s to get a whole. Okay? So it serve as models. Okay? Next, manipulatives provide another representation for mathematics being studied. As you can see, sir, how is that done? How is that done? Example, you're teaching the different how do you call this? The cube, the prisms. You are going to dissect the parts. So, example, I'll be presenting them mga nets. When I say nets, if I'm gonna be having the net for a cube, daghan na siya. If fold na nato siya, we will be forming a cube for that. Daghan nag mga nets for each one, and I would like them to have a representation of this object. Unsa kay representation ani nga object nga maka-form ko og prism, maka-form ko og rectangular pyramid or probably a triangular prism. So that's how the representation part is very very important sa paggamit sa manipulatives sa concept sa mathematics nga atong gistudihan. Okay? The next reason is this. They support student engagement and differentiation. What do you mean by this? I would like, okay, this is very, very understandable. What do you understand about this reason? Yes, Ronald. Go on, Ronald. Thank you.
Sir, manipulative sir kay makakuan silang interest sir to engage in and to participate in the activities sir.
What?
Then
Yes, go on. Sige, continue.
they can kuan ka sir, they have tawag gani, they have the power sir na mo kuan kana ganing dili lang sila kuan sir, dili lang sila as tawag ganay,
Dili sila mag, dili mag,
dili lang sila mag lingkod na sa usa ka butang sir, but they have they can manipulate sa usa ka butang sir nga maka-acquire sa ilang makamot maka-engage sila sa activities sir ba.
Okay, the important key word there is you let your students engage. They will be working, example, balik ta atong ako ang one whole katong papi lang. Okay, that was a very good activity about fractions. Did I engage my students? Yes, I did. There was collaboration there because they work as a group. Because when I said na show you think that's 1/4, show me 1/2. Oh, they will now think, this is 1/4. So I need another 1/4. And I'll be adding that to get a half. So I'll be getting my classmate, do you agree with me? Ngani. So they will now collaborate. Another thing is differentiation. So when I say mga good manipulatives, dili man ni siya, the learning of the concept will really vary. Okay, there are certain levels man nga kini nga student dali nakat-una siya. So you will now give the student another activity but still the same manipulative. Here is a student nga ang hinay kay siya level 1 pa siya. Di level 1 ang ipanghatag nimo nga mga manipulatives regarding example sa factoring part. Ayo sa sila hatagi og kanang lisod nga mga factoring examples. Adto sa basic, then if a student already gets nga kuan, then have it nga ang ihang x squared kay nanay 3 nanay 2. So start first sa mga coefficient nga x squared alone. Then after that, degree ang difficulty magka-increase. Kaya ang proficiency sa mga bata, magkamaayo naman sila using it. Okay? And the last one is give students ownership of their own learning. Katong show me 1/2, I did not tell them that you combine two papers. It was their own answer. It was their own learning that they will be combining the two papers to show 1/2. So they have ownership of their idea. They have ownership of their answer. They have ownership about their output. So these are the top 5 reasons nga nung mugamit ta og manipulatives in the classroom. Okay? Now, I will be stopping here. I will meet all of you again next week para we will be talking about the 2 types. Ang next week na itong meeting, it's very, very short. So we will be having concrete manipulatives and virtual manipulatives next